So, I guess let's get started. What do we got going here? 34-minute game, a somewhat longer match here. Hopefully, we'll see some good plays and not just random shit. As far as matchups go, we have a Victor on the enemy team. It's always good to gank Victor early because he is very, very weak in the early levels and he has very little in terms of escape. He just has a little shield in the gravity field, but the gravity field doesn't usually help him that much if he's like in the middle of the lane. And Tryndamere can follow up the gank pretty well. So the top lane definitely has some gank potential this game.
Okay, well, good to know. I don't think I ganked him very often early, so...
Yeah, I'm just, so every single game that you get into, you should consider like three things. How are the lanes gonna play out? Where can we potentially gank to help out? And then where will the enemy jungler try to gank to kind of do whatever? And then once we kind of assess the situation there, then we can go ahead and like plan what we want to do. So what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna just give you my thoughts of what I think the lanes look like, and then what I think the enemy jungler will want to do, and then what I think you should do because of that, right? And then you could kind of compare that to whatever you think before the match starts, or if you don't think at all before the match starts, then this will be like, you know, a lesson for you, just being like, consider these things because it's really important. It be the different, like, you won't too often be punished for not thinking about this stuff, but sometimes if you think about this stuff, you might get an extra kill or something in the early game just because of the path you choose.
Yeah, that's definitely important, and yeah, the only thing I usually think about is how mobile the enemy is,
Yeah.
and yeah, how easy it is to gank them, but yeah.
Mobility, positioning, and tankiness is what you should be thinking about, as well as keeping a general like understanding of where the enemy jungler is. Because if the enemy jungler is top side, then you can't really gank top lane unless you do it very quickly and whatnot, whatever. I'm doing really well. I'm just doing VOD reviews right now, so error, I won't be reading chat as much. And let me see. What division is this, by the way?
Gold 2.
Gold 2.
Not
Alright, well there you
high
have it,
either.
boys. It's mid gold or so, high gold, whatever you would call it. EU West. Alright, so back to what we were talking about before. So we have a potential kill in the top lane. In the mid lane, it's a similar situation because LeBlanc has really, really good gank follow-up with her chain, but it's just a little bit harder just because of Ahri having charm, which is pretty good, and she has a built-in movement speed thing, and mid lane can generally be harder to gank, so you'll have to keep an eye on that. There is skill potential there, but I would say probably a little bit less than their top lane. And bot lane, actually, same thing. You have two very immobile guys. The Vel'Koz has some stuff, but Lux has a snare. That being said, I think bot lane is going to get pushed in just because Caitlyn is so good at pushing in usually that's probably going to be the least likely lane for you to gank. So with that in consideration, you probably are you're blue side? Yeah, you're blue side. You probably want to start somewhere on the bottom side. You have the option of taking a leash or starting Wraiths. If I were playing this, I probably would have started Wraiths into red into like blue Scuttle Crab, or just Scuttle Crab and maybe try to gain top lane or something. I think that's probably the best call here. Just don't go for Krugs because Krugs will take some time, and generally speaking, when you're trying to gank a Victor, you probably want to gank him early. This would be a potential sacrifice if you don't get anything out of mid or top, because Krugs is a very valuable camp to take early on. But I think because it's a Victor, I think there's a pretty decent chance of that actually happening, so... Oh yeah, and
So,
Lee Sin, he can't really gank top lane. He can't really gank mid lane. He can probably gank bot lane because mid and top have pretty decent mobilities things, and bot lane doesn't in particular. So maybe if you start pink ward, you could place a pink ward around the bot lane or something.
okay, yeah. So I was gonna ask about that because when I watch your stream, you usually pick up a pink word instead of a refillable pot.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, I didn't because I usually don't know where to place it.
well, you could always just keep it until you get to the river and then just place it for mid lane. But if there's a lane that you think can get killed, then generally speaking, you would just place it for that lane. So like right now, from my analysis, it's like, okay, well, it's probably going to be bot lane that dies. So just place it like defensively in their side of the jungle, meaning their bush. In this kind of situation, you should always start wolves.
Okay.
Tryndamere isn't going to give you that good of a leash, and if we're saying like Tryndamere isn't giving us that good of a leash, then it's just better to go for wolves into this thing. Because like you can think of it this way, yeah, Tryndamere did like maybe 5-6 auto attacks and an E, which probably did like what 500, maybe 600 damage. Oh, what the fuck are we doing here? Okay, this is bad.
Yeah, so because of the invade, I thought they were taking my red. So I decided to invade Lee's red.
Yeah, I feel that. The only thing is that if Lee Sin decided to go blue to his red, you would have been really, really, really fucked here. Generally speaking, like if you wanted to do something here, I would even prefer you to take Wraiths just because Evelynn takes Wraiths quicker than she takes red. But you probably like, I don't know. I know what you mean, but wait, this ward actually, does this ward? Hold on. Does this ward see? Okay, this ward does see your Wraiths, and you know that your Wraiths are safe. So, I don't know. I feel weird about that. I don't know what
because my Wraiths are safe, I should not have assumed that he invaded my red bottom side.
Right, exactly. Well, let me go back and actually see what happened, because I think I was talking to about something else. Hold on. You didn't need to recall here, really. But okay, let's see. You see them all around here. See them get this. You know what I would have done here, actually, is because I see 4 people here. I would have just started their Wraiths.
Okay, you would have just immediately invaded.
Yeah. Because there's no realistic way that these 4 can go here, and I would have started Wraiths. Usually when like the top, so the only thing you have to worry about here is placing a ward over here to make sure that Victor isn't watching. And then you can start there. Generally speaking, when you know that from like if they invade or something, if you just know that the majority of their team is bot side, you can go do something like that. I mean, in the early game, I personally would rather give up, let's say, a camp than attempt a risky invade where I'm like, the one thing that from my experience you have, ward is bad, it's supposed to be here, this ward won't see them walking here. What I'm trying to say is a very easy way to lose the game is to run into the enemy jungler in the jungle, and going blue to his red makes it so that there is a chance that you run into into the enemy jungler. Also, the fact that your path is blue over to their red back to your blue, like, yeah, you take their red, but is it really worth all the walking that you did? I mean, if you just did, you know, this, or like actually what I would have done is I would have started wolves, blue, scuttle crab, and then you could probably would go for Gromp or check their wraiths at this point, because after you take 3 camps, if their wraiths are still up, then that means that they're probably doing something weird, right? But if you're doing it as a second camp, then you're not sure. You're not exactly sure because not enough time has gone by for him to already have transitioned to another place. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I think I do.
It's just like, even if he starts red, even if he starts your red, a potential route that he can do is your red to his red to make sure that you can't counter invade or anything like that. People actually do that pretty often. So you're just risking so much by going here early. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's
and if
move
he
on.
did that, he would have killed me.
If he did that, their team would have, maybe like he doesn't kill you personally, but their team does kill you because Evelynn can't run across the map, you know, running away from their jungle. At best, she can like run and suicide to their towers or something and get executed. But she can't. Once she is spotted in the enemy jungle, there's realistically no way of living if the enemy is half decent because all she can do is walk away, and that's not good enough because she can't fight back. She can't kill anyone. She's just like a sitting duck and eventually will be killed. Now, in this case where you think that your bottom side has been counter jungled, you can't walk by your top side, or you can't walk by your Gromp like that because okay, so you're prioritizing the buffs a little bit too much, I think is what ends up happening here. The buffs aren't that much better than the regular camps.
I thought that my red might still be up. So,
yes, but even if your red was still up there, you don't want to do your red there. You want to do your wraiths, and then you want to do your red. Because you don't want to, 1, walk back and forth like that, and 2, you want to get your regular camps on cooldown first, because they will come back up, give you more experience, and give you more gold faster than these other camps. And a higher level, it basically would just let you hit level 6 faster if you kill the other guys efficiently, and also it will maximize the duration of your red buff. So if you take wraiths and then red, you have red for longer, you have wraiths coming up faster, you have level 6 faster, and it's just really nice. So like, I don't know, it's just it doesn't make sense to like run buff to buff to buff to buff and just be super worried about the buffs, because you're a farming jungler. You don't care that much about any camp in particular. You just care that you get a lot of them. Also, there's fights in the mid lane and you're not going there.
Yeah, that's just my awareness not being great. I think I might go there.
She was dead. She was dead because right here, you should just see that they're fighting, because like you even if you just look at the minimap, you see their health going down. Like you see your allies' health being low and going down. You should just look at the mid lane because you're right next to the mid lane. You should be using your F keys to quickly take a look. And as soon as you see this fight going on, I mean, you should be like here, right? You went here, so you should be like here or something. And then you could easily get to here. She literally flashes in. So right here, all you do is QE and then use your hate spikes and then W so she can't run away afterwards while you wait for the rest of your cooldowns or whatever. I think you should, yeah, she's probably still dead. Is she though?
Yeah, she is, but still. I could have been...
Oh, she didn't die actually. Oh, Lee Sin died. No, okay, so she lived despite us using Flash. And she should have died without us even using Flash. Or maybe we had to Flash for an auto attack or something, but I don't know. Anyway, that was a mistake. This is just brutal. Recalling with... See, like, you only took, like, the bare minimum of your jungle. You still have your Krugs up, you still have your Gromp up, and Krugs is like a really important camp to actually put on cooldown. Oftentimes so important that people have started like pathing to Krugs as a second camp just to get it back up faster. And I mean, you're not taking your first Krug camp until your second rotation. Well, you actually didn't take it at all. Okay, yeah, that's crazy.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea that Krugs was so important.
Yeah, I mean, hold on, I'll tell you the number right now. Jungle camps.
Yeah, they probably give a lot of gold, don't they?
I will tell you right now. Where's the chart for this show?
About 150 probably. I think that.
I thought there was going to be a quick chart that I could take a look at. I think it's like, I don't remember the exact number, but it's like a Krug camp is worth like 1.5 to 2 times as much as a regular camp.
Yeah.
Just does. Okay, well let's compare the Grump and the Krug. Oh, there we go. I found it. Okay, so the total gold from Krugs is 160 compared to about 100 for the other camps. So there's like roughly 50% more, usually 60% more. And experience-wise, the first Krugs has a severely reduced amount of experience that it gives, but the second Krugs gives about 350 experience, while other camps give about 190. So yeah, Krugs give about twice as much experience as a regular camp, and it gives like 1.5 at least times gold. So you want to get that Krug camp, and it's the second Krug camp that you really care about, because the first Krug camp gives only 30% of its total experience. The first clear is like lowered, so you can't just, you know, be like level 3 or something right away. Alright, so we're level 6. Let's see what we do with level 6. We're invading the enemy jungle. Not a good idea. And I mean, we just saw that mid lane died and whatnot, but I wish that didn't happen yet, and then I did the explanation first so that you couldn't just be like, hey, you saw it happen. No. So
no, I didn't see it happen. I'm not gonna pretend I did.
Alright, well, whatever. So here's the thing, man. Evelynn doesn't gank that much pre-6. She can do 1 or 2 or something, but compared to another champion, like let's say Lee Sin, Xin, Camille, Talia, all those guys, she ganks a lot less, right? A lot of her time is spent farming. When Evelynn hits level 6, she gets a big power spike, because not only does she have her ultimate, she has her camouflage, so a lot of previous paths for ganks that were unavailable, before, now suddenly become available. So what that means is you have to heavily, like, you have to make something happen with your level 6. Because if you don't, then you're just useless. You didn't do anything in the early game. Now you're level 6 and you're farming the enemy red. Like, come on, help me out, man. Yeah, that's what your mid laner is feeling like right now. And as soon as you hit level 6, so let's go back a little bit and see you hit level 6. So you hit, okay, let's...
After blue, I think.
You hit 6 here. What you should be doing is you should look top lane. Alright, this guy's 2/3 HP. You should look mid lane. Alright, this guy is a little bit more HP, but he's more pushed out. And then you look bot lane. You're like, okay, this guy's full HP. This girl's recalling. There's nothing that happens here. Your objective once you hit level 6, now it becomes not farm, but number 1, get a kill with your ultimate. And you gotta go and pick the lane that has the most kill potential. In this case, I think that both mid lane and top lane probably have decent kill potential, because both you and Tryndamere can just dive this guy. He can't do anything against you. Actually, Tryndamere doesn't have his ultimate, so maybe you would want to wait for his ultimate first.
I think we might end up diving him, yeah.
Or you can easily go mid lane and go behind her. You don't have flash, but as long as you're behind her, you can usually get a charm off. She will probably use her ultimate to go towards tower. You wait for her ultimate and then throw a Q after it's completed, because there's like a second or two between the cast. I don't remember how much it actually is. But it's important that you try out one of those options, because if you go to his red, one, you might end up fighting him, which isn't really what you want to be doing, because even if you do kill him, like, great, but a lead in the jungle is just not the same as a lead in lane. And on top of that, again, you've been neglecting your laners to help yourself, so this is the time when you go and you actually swing the game in favor of your laners. So I would want to see you go to one of those two places. And, I mean, even at this point, like, you should be aware of what is happening mid lane. As a jungler, you're always at least looking at the mini map and people's HP bars. As soon as you see people's HP bars going down, you have to look here, right? You have to see that something is going down, and you cannot be doing this when this is happening. That's just unacceptable. And on top of that, you know, even if you missed her dying here, you should be here and killing her and punish her. She doesn't have her ultimate. She doesn't have a flash. She's a sitting duck. This is 300 gold. And why are you not taking it? Because you wanted, you know, 100 gold to take 100 gold from their jungler. It just doesn't do anything for you. I think that one's easy. You can still kill her here. She's recalling in an incorrect spot. All you have to do is probably like Q, W, E her, and you kill her. Now let's see what you attempted the top lane. So first of all, you're late because he's already used his stuff, but you did get the kill and you did get out alive, so this is fine. So what I was he's asking for help pushing the lane. Generally speaking, after you get a kill like that, you want to help push the lane. There's two benefits to that. One, he gets to reset faster, and two, you gain experience as like a reward for your gank. The thing that is like best case scenario is you gank the lane, you kill their laner, your laner gets the kill, you push the lane, you don't take any of their farm, but you get the experience. So it both helps you because you get assist gold and you split some XP with him. And it helps him a lot because he's ahead now, he can actually kill the enemy. You can also push tower and get tower gold, that's fine too. Splitting tower gold is totally fine too. So there you go. Were you the person that said that you are having trouble like picking up Evelynn, but you play other junglers pretty well?
No, I have
Hey Sunny, love you.
yeah, I've been jungling for about a month, so
Oh, are you the person that said you were playing ADC and you're trying to transition to the jungle?
yeah, that's me.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I have a bunch of people asking me for help at the same time.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So, okay, that makes sense.
So that's also why I don't watch lanes as well and that sort of thing.
Right. But you have to realize that that is your number one job. That's like your number one job as a jungler is to constantly watch the map, constantly watch the lanes. If you fuck everything else up, but you are able to notice when things are like, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, but you know that something's going down, at least then I could be like, okay, you're gathering information correctly. Because as a jungler, if you don't have information of what's going on, it's like you're walking around the jungle with your eyes closed. You know, it's like that's got to be the first thing that you work on. Do you have like a mouse with extra keys or something?
No.
No? Okay. Are your function keys far away from the rest of your setup? I don't know. I know mine are comfortable, but you got to figure out some kind of key binding situation where you can... Do you know about the F1 through F5 keys? How if you click them, it centers around your allies?
I had no idea, but that sounds really useful.
Right, yeah. So there are a couple of ways of looking around the map to gather information. One is just staring at it, which is great. You could see a lot of stuff like positioning and whatnot, who is how pushed. But that's not going to be enough because you won't, like, if I just looked at the mini map, I would probably think that, what would we think? Kind of looks like there's bunches of minions, maybe they'll push in or something, I don't know. But if you actually look here, you know that, you know, most of these minions are already dead, and it's definitely going to get into the tower, whatever. So you can, to gather more information, you can click on the map, which takes time. That kind of sucks. Or you could set up the key binding so that when you press F2, I have it set up so it's on my mouse, but when you press F2, it just shows you Tryndamere. It'll center your screen like this. And then you press F3, it'll show you your mid laner, and it'll center the screen like this. And then you press F4, and it'll show you your ADC. And using that, as long as they're in lane, right now they're like recalling or doing some dumb shit. But if you are able to do that, you're able to just take a look and then press spacebar and be back to your character and do your thing. As Evelynn, it's a little bit harder because we constantly, every like 3 seconds, have to shoot our Q, and you have to spam that shit, so you kind of have to break your fingers to do that. That's why I say get like some extra buttons somewhere. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's get it nice. I'll see if I can find a good way to bind this command.
You're too far away when you use your W.
Okay, so it should wait till I...
When you W, you're letting her know that you're here. She's obviously gonna try to run away, so you might as well just be closer when you start it.
Okay.
You don't have to flash here. You're within maximum range of your Q. She can't move, so you just throw your Q. You press here and you get her. That's extra.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The range on your Q is your camouflage range plus like a little bit, like a cursor and a half width more.
Yeah, I know.
Also, you still had hate spikes.
Yeah, I don't think I should have ulted here. No.
I don't think so either. So you used all of your tools for a gank that I think you could have done with none of your tools. But I'm not too worried about that actually. As your first kill, it's better to be safe than sorry. And as a beginner, it's okay to use too much because you don't know your own power, so to speak. So I don't really mind you messing that up. I'm just pointing it out. I think that the mistakes of not taking your camps and not watching the lanes are way bigger than using too much on a gank. Alright, let's see. Doing a quick full clear, and this is good. This is what you want to be doing when all your tools are on cooldown, because you risk a lot by ganking when your ulti and flash are down. Yeah, so you saw this person here. What you need to do is just be defensive, put W on her. Yep. And then you want to be closer. They can't see you, right? So they can't hurt you if they can't see you. And you want to be closer just so you can help your team. Right there, you might have been able to actually save her if you charmed her. Your charm was ready. And at this position, you might as well not even be here because you can't do anything. So, one of the first things you have to learn as Evelynn in general is that when you're invisible, you might as well be like invulnerable, right? Unless like there's specific times you don't want to be standing right next to your teammates and stuff, because then you'll get hit by stray skill shots and stuff or whatever. But there's no reason for you to stand here because you're just as safe standing here, right? So there's no reason for you to go down here because they can't see you. There's no reason for you to back off when you W because they can't see you. So what I would have done is I would have been standing right here right now. And when she cues in, I'm standing like right here. When the beam is coming towards me, I'm backing up just a little bit. And when she's here, I just shoot my Q at her and I charm her immediately. But see
Yeah,
how your positioning is so far away that you can't affect the fight?
Yes.
Yeah, that's no good. At the very least, stand in front of her, man. Like, block a shot, you know? But that probably wouldn't have saved her anyway.
I regretted that immediately, but...
Alright, so that's just one of the first thing you have to learn. As Evelynn, use your camouflage, ride the line. Like, you really have to be... Because Evelynn has no mobility. Her ultimate is the only way that she can get closer to somebody, and you're not ulting in that situation. In fact, you're not ulting in 99% of situations. You just can't afford to use your ultimate for that. So you really have to put your camouflage to its limits. You have to be there and really close to the fights and stuff. And usually I see this happening when people are on flanks. Let's say this tower is not here. You'll have an Evelynn like chilling here or something, when in reality she should be chilling here, because like, you know, they're just scared of the opponent, so they take like precautions that they shouldn't be taking. You should be standing right here, not right here. But this is the same thing. Just
force of habit kicking in. By the way, when you're pointing with your cursor, I can't really follow you because of the 5-second delay.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, just so you know.
Okay. But did you understand what you understood what I was saying?
Yeah, I got the point.
Okay, gotcha. You're right though. I do need to I need to take that into account.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you got healed. Okay. Alright. Worked out. So here's how that fight should have gone. QW, you throw your Q. As your Q is flying, you W him. This slows him. You have smite, so you also smite him. And then you should be in range of your E. You just have to be careful for his knockup. After this, so like let's say you didn't do that and you actually still did what you did. After that, you use all your damage on him. You already landed your Q on him. You can actually one-shot him. So now you can't be tunneling on the other guy. Use all your damage on him, and then use your ultimate in this direction to go. You actually would have gotten a double with your ultimate here if you just hit him.
Yeah.
Because you didn't do any damage.
The marker on him.
But yeah, so there's two things here. Vel'Koz should have died way earlier, and then this guy, like, you could have killed him later on if you just switched to him, like, whatever. Ganking RA. Alright, so this is actually a mistake at this point, I think. Just even chilling here is a mistake because your jungle is already starting to respawn. Top lane is okay. Going towards mid lane was not okay there because you're wasting time. Top lane is okay because you have to defend versus Rift Herald, and that's all fine. When you're approaching people, you can't be running at them. You gotta run at their escape routes. So this is wrong. This is correct. Because, see, you eventually realize that you have to go there anyway, so you might as well. Blind Q, still hit it though. Okay. And he's dead, fine. And now you snap back straight to reality. I mean, straight to the jungle. You probably... this is fine. You might have wanted to grump first, because... Dude, no! Stop walking away from your farm. Take your farm. You're fucking Evelynn. It takes you like 3 seconds. Take your 100 gold. It's like a third of a kill. Alright. Like, okay, your stuff is super on cooldown and you just spent your time getting a kill for your ally. Reward yourself. Just turn off your brain for a little bit. Start farming like crazy. And then while you're farming like crazy, you look mid, you look bot, and whatnot, and then if something really comes up that is like, okay, fine, I can't have my gold because you guys are fucking idiots, and then you go and help them, but you really don't want to give up on your farm. This is how you carry. So much so that like I've started to like try and show up to the camps like the second that they spawn.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, you're timing even your mining camps.
Yeah, Well, it's the minor camps that you have to time because the regular camps
Yeah.
you have the game. Oh. No. What are you getting? You better get something fucking good here.
Probably not.
Oh, you stopped your recall. Okay. Well, you're getting at least this is what you're getting. You didn't use your W. If you used your W, he would have died too. Alright, so this is something you need to... It's super fucking easy. Go pull up a target dummy and just do it like 3 or 4 times. After you Q somebody, just start spamming the fuck out of your W key and hold your cursor over them. You will slow them for 65%. If you were putting points into your W, right there, you would have slowed the Vel'Koz for 65% for 1.5 seconds, which basically means you can just walk up to him and slap him to kill him if you feel like it.
Yeah.
But you have to be using your W. You can't just use it for the charm. There's more uses for it. Probably would have gone here. Their support's dead. You could probably pick up a kill on their ADC. Let's see where he actually ends up running. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you could have easily killed him if you were here. You still have flash to run from the Ahri, but I don't know if you would need to use it anyway. Okay, that's just intuition. So generally speaking, this is just something for the bot lane. When you kill one of the bot laners, you kind of want to go check behind their tower to see if there is a potential tower dive / just pick, especially since the enemy bot laner was low and you kind of knew that. You just want to go check here. Oftentimes they'll just be running around and you can get a free kill like they did here. So that was kind of my intuition, just being like, if I go here, I might get a kill, and I was right. Whenever, because like 3v1 situations is like an automated kill in the bot lane, so if you kill one of them, generally speaking, unless like you're all low HP, you want to go take a look. Alright, so we still don't have our Krugs. This is good. Yeah, no, you can't kill him without your Q landing or your ultimate. You have to remember that your Q landing is like 65% of the damage. You should be dead. You don't have to back up there. You have to keep running. QW again. So let's see how you fought this. Okay, so first of all, you're kind of chilling too far away, right? This is this is the maximum camo, so you should at least keep it like here. There's no reason to be this far away. 1. You have vision here too. 2, you don't want to go here. You want to stand behind them with the flank. You don't want to be in front of them ever. Okay, this is better. You're getting closer. All right, as soon as he sees you, you already need to be using your Q. So you need to anticipate when you will cross the line of sight. Now here you could have waited a little bit longer maybe once they get into a fight, but this is okay too. The most important thing is that the second you are seen, you throw your Q. And there's 2 reasons for this. 1, it takes time for them to just recognize the fact that you're there and then react to it. So if you're not throwing your Q right away, then you're giving them more time to realize this. The only reason he flashed you is because he saw you for long enough. 2, them seeing you is actually a good indicator that you are within Q range. Now, if they're walking towards you, you can actually Q before they see you. But if they're walking away from you and you're catching up to them, you have to account for their movement speed. So generally speaking, you have to be closer to them to hit your Q. The best indicator for when you can hit your Q is when they see you. From my experience, right as they see you, if you Q, you will land it. So your Q comes out a little bit late, and you don't W him. You should have W'd him there no matter what, again, because it slows them, but you seem to just not know how that works. That's fine. You'll work on that later. Oh, also, you never back up there. Never. He is so low. He's running for his life. And 2, you don't go behind and try to chase him like this. You go right away. Like, as soon as that fails, you run towards here to cut off his escape routes. And I know I'm using here. Okay, I should just say towards river. You should run towards river to cut off his escape routes. Yeah. You should be like much closer to him than you are right now.
Yeah.
So now this situation that we're in, this is the correct play. This is the correct play. Yep. That's not good. All right. So basically, what you're allowing him to do here is potentially run towards the river and be safe. And I was gonna say you're not allowing enough time for Vel'Koz to recall. He didn't show want to leave, so you're potentially allowing him to do that. 2, you're using your Q to proc when you have already basically squeezed him into a thing that he can't run away from. So the correct thing to do, the correct thing to do here was to stand at the very edge of the thing instead of just on par with him. You wanna be as close to his tower as possible to cut off his potential escape route. What I would have probably done is waited like 5 more seconds here, maybe after his next 4th shot or something, and then I would have ran straight at, or not straight at him, I would have ran towards here, W'd him and smited him. You do have smite. And then stood on top of him and used my auto attack to engage. Now, even if you don't do that, you're within your E range. You should be just walking up and using your E here. E is a point and click ability. You can't miss it. And right here, you threw away 60% of your Q damage for nothing, basically. When you E him, you're supposed to be walking towards Vel'Koz, because you should be thinking about the fact that there's a low HP Vel'Koz that's trying to help him. And you probably could have killed the Vel'Koz as well, especially if you smited him first, because you didn't have execute damage on him. There's a lot there.
Yeah, so you might have had execute damage if I smited him.
I would have totally checked this bush too. You kind of stopped. You stopped. Oh, look at that. And you probably should have gone here too. I didn't think about that earlier, but whatever. You're trying to check behind the tower here, but no, you pretty much see behind the tower. What vision do you have? Yeah, you know that he's not here, so it's probably just better to go here. You probably could have killed him. But in any case, I would have still chased here. Let's see, how long does it take for him to recall? Not that much longer. Okay, so you didn't have enough time. But if you went here, you probably would have. I guess I could take a look at what's happening here. Alright, so you used E there, and that was really good. What happens in this fight? Re-stealth? You don't want them to see you re-stealthing. They didn't this time, but I'm just letting you know. E into close range again, and then follow up with stuff. Okay, good.
Yeah, I do try to think about that.
But... pretty early W. He knows that you're coming. Futile Q. Can't do anything with that. What should have been done here? Do you have your ultimate? No. So... this is an okay approach because their bushes can have pinks, so you want to hit as little bushes as possible. But once he does see you through the pink, you shouldn't back off. You should just go through. Since you've decided to go here, you should go through here to cut off his escape route. Oh, so okay. Actually, this early W is okay because he knew that you were coming. But you don't have flash available, you don't have that thing available. At most, what you could try to do here is E this minion, walk up a step or two, and then Q. But Q doesn't do anything. And you just realized why. when you hit a Q with a minion, your Q will prioritize that minion, so you have no
Yeah.
hope of hitting him.
That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's gonna happen every time. Now,
Yeah, I
your W, I don't know if your W is actually back up yet, but you could attempt QW into E on him. So QW to slow into E. You can't attempt a charm because he is too close to the tower. This is still killable, actually. Skips, thanks for the Twitch Prime, man. Oh, he's walking out. Okay, so he should be dead here. As soon as a champion takes a direct path towards farm and isn't stutter stepping, this is the easiest way. This is like, as soon as he's walking into that, I'm like, he's dead. What you do is you throw your Q slightly ahead of him and W him. He gets slowed. Oh, he turned back at the last second. I don't know if I would have killed him. But anyway, he would have gotten slowed, and then you just all in him with your E and use the E movement speed to get out.
Yeah, that makes
Right
sense.
there, you should have actually Q'd him first, right as he saw you, because he can't really dodge the Q well. Because he's not going to realize that you're there fast enough. And your... If the Q is guaranteed, it's better to Q first because your DPS will be faster. No, he did not have ulti. Uh-oh. We have no tools available. Oh, we do. We have ults. You should be smiting him. Okay, thank you. He'd be juking. Okay.
Yeah, I think I just got killed here.
You should have smited earlier. You might have lived.
That was a juicy shutdown as well.
Big indeed. Alright. That's really, really, really unfortunate for you guys. They just aced you. Almost. Okay. And they took your jungle as well.
Yeah, this was really the
Um,
turning point of the game, I think.
This is... Oh, okay, they didn't take the rest of your jungle. So, oh, okay, no, they are taking the rest of your jungle. Okay, whatever, Jono. Decide one thing, please. This is the... and then your Tryndamere took your jungle too. So, this is the, kind of the backfire situation of taking too many ganks and then not immediately going back to farm. So after you killed the Victor top lane, you should have gone straight to farm, and that should just be your mindset all the time. If your farm is up, you really want to be farming your farm. The only time that you're not is if you're going to go kill somebody, which going top lane was not a mistake there because Victor was in the middle of the lane and you kind of had the momentum going where like you killed bot lane, you killed mid lane, and I think you might have even killed the jungler or something, so they just have no way to fight back. But as soon as you're done fighting the top lane and you want to make it as fast... Oh, well, I guess, right, what happened is you stood around the top lane for a while, and I don't think you needed to take that much time, but basically standing around like that is going to lose you the game if you have camps already up. You can do that kind of stuff if your camps are on cooldown, but when your camps are already up, you're basically, every second you spend in lane, you're putting yourself further and further behind. So that's kind of what happened to you where you lost most of your jungle here is an accumulation of those previous things. And like, you should be ahead of the enemy jungler in levels here, right? Because he has 6 deaths and you have 1 death. You should be ahead of him in levels. He had a lot more time on the map, but you're not because you weren't prioritizing those the farm, and you've given up a lot of farm throughout the game too. Let me see how you approach this in general.
Yeah, so this is like later in the game when they are together. I really don't know.
This is no good. This is not good because you're running at them and you're using your E like a gap closer. It's not. Your E is not a gap closer. If you already find yourself in range of E, then you should use it because you know it's an automatic hit and stuff. But you should never use your E like your plan should never be walk at them and use E. That's literally, somebody on Reddit was telling me that this is what they do. That opens up to her just charming you and them just killing you. You can't be doing that. So what you should have done here is you should have QW'd again. I know I keep saying this over and over again, but that's what should have happened here. As soon as you're in range, she's CC'd, you throw your Q, you W her, she gets slowed, and then you can do that. You know, actually, I think the only reason you actually caught up to her is because Victor Q blocked her. But whatever. I don't know. It's just like... You're leaving yourself open for a lot longer. Like, right there, what you could have actually done is just QW'd her, hate spike, ultimate. And then she's dead. You never even have to walk up to her. You still want to E because it's extra damage and stuff, and it turned out that you were able to walk up to her, but... Oh, Q him! Ah, E him, walk away. Ah, close. Alright, also, there might have been a chance for you to go behind them there. That's another time where you should have QW'd instead of just walking up and keying. Okay, flashy is actually okay, but you should really be using Q flash E instead of just flash E. It does much more damage and it takes pretty much the same amount of time, so you might as well just Q first to get a bunch of damage off. Wait, did you die there?
Yeah, I did.
Hold on.
I think it killed me.
Victor killed you. Alright, so...
This is also a great fight, by the way.
Oh, I see. You're on this side of the minions. So you should have waited a little bit longer. There's no reason to rush here. There's still a lot of time until the tower. And you could wait here for the minions to just walk by. Where does... Oh, there's Victor. Ah, I see how he kills you. Alright. Because they were so low, they really should be dead as soon as they realize that you're there. Yeah. She's question marking herself too.
Yeah, she was pretty embarrassed in chat. So yeah, was...
Alright, it's starting to get to that point in the game where everybody's just throwing kills at each other, but at this point in the game, the biggest thing that I got for you, man, is flank and kill. Like, this is actually okay, except you showed yourself on the tower. There you go, that's fine. For tower ranges, you can use these double tips. Just draw a line, don't pass that line. And don't pass this line. Very easy. Both sides have it. Don't cross this imaginary line. Don't cross this line. And that's what you do here.
Ah, okay.
So I'll show you. You get revealed right now as soon as I unpause. Oh, wow, you actually were able to go a little bit closer. Oh, maybe this thing counts too. Didn't know that. Whatever, there might be like a little bit more here.
I didn't do that because I knew that.
Yeah. Usually it's these things though. But yeah, good Q there. You could have used your Spellbinder a little bit earlier since you're using it, but whatever. That was good. As soon as you go stealth here, you gotta start running down. Loop back around like this, and then start looking for flanks again. So like Vilcaz is coming here with his sweeper, so you gotta fall back. And then there's a pink here, and then I probably won't die, but I probably have to fight him. But that's what I would have done. You should always be thinking about flanking, especially once you got one kill. You should be thinking about like maybe I can get another one, because every time you get a kill, it's now less risky to try and go for another kill, because you have one more ally that can help you. While they have less, and that's kind of like, that's mid-game mentality where you already have a couple of items and stuff, so you can fight people by yourself and you can kill people even without your ultimate. So in the early game, your mentality is always try to help your team whenever you have to, and then, you know, try and run to farm and stuff. Here, if you got a kill, you want to see how much you can get off of that. Try to kill more people, transition that into tower, kills and whatnot, and then go farm once you're done with that shit. Farming is really, really good, and you don't want to just spend time running around, but you do want to take like 2 or 3 seconds to see if they misposition and give you a free one. So this is great, actually. You guys are down 1 person, they're down 2 people, so you can try to look to engage here again. It looks like they're flashing in, which is great for you. Do not take the long way, take the short way. When you have a man advantage, you want to take not risky, but you want to take aggressive positioning. Also, you generally you're not using camouflage to flank. You're just trying to, like, I don't know, walk up to them from the front. You know, you're an invisible champion. There's no fucking reason you shouldn't be walking over here.
Fair enough.
You use your W early again here. You should never be in a situation where you are too far to use your like what is that? Okay, like that frustrates me.
Yeah, so yeah, I haven't gotten used to using my W for anything other than.
But not
charm.
even your W. This is just not what Evelyn does. This is not Evelyn. Because look at what you do. You use W. You're walking back and forth here. You, like, as an Evelyn player, you need to be thinking, where is my opponent's moving? What is my opponent gonna do as soon as I W? In no world is I W them, they stand there and wait, right? That's just, they're chasing your allies. You know that they're not gonna stand there. That means that you can't be standing there too. You have to match the movements of your enemies. And in no world can it be that you put your W is complete, you're out of range to proc it. That doesn't happen. That's not something that we do. Again, Evelyn, no mobility, which means that you have to be next to the enemy when you have to be next to the enemy. Great description, Sunset, I know. But
Well, yeah, I see what you mean there. Yeah. Because you have to camouflage.
see, this is okay. This positioning is okay. You're letting them pass by. You see them. You're close. You're waiting. This is oh, okay. Maybe no. This is fine. Showing yourself here is fine as long as you Q. Okay, you're using your E.
Oop.
You want to use your slow. So the idea is you use your Q when they can't see you, because you can very easily predict how they are moving when they can't see you, and they will not react. They will not react. I can tell you this 100% for sure, unless they're using some kind of script, unless they're using some kind of program. They don't have enough time. I have not ran into a single player who can dodge Evelyn's Q if she casts it out of stealth. They can't do it. So you should be able to land your Q and then your charm out of stealth. And, like, yes, you got that kill, but you didn't get it in the right way. And if you keep doing that kind of stuff, you will eventually get CC'd by somebody and killed.
Yeah, that's what happened a bunch of times in this game. So that's
Hold on, let's see what you were supposed to do here. This was a 1v1, he should be dead. Did you proc his? Too early. Too early.
yeah. Made the same mistake.
You are actually within range of Q, but you miss it. Okay. The missed Q is fine. That was just you trying, and that didn't work out, but you're using your W too soon. Okay. Just fast forward to get you back up real quick. Did you die? You did die. Alright, let's see what we can do here. You're standing too long out of the fight. They're clearly all focusing this guy, and you're waiting for nothing. You don't do enough damage fast enough because you're using your orders in the wrong order. You're using your abilities in the wrong order, so you don't do enough damage. You would have killed either this guy or this girl, 100% guaranteed. What you need to do here is, I'll tell you exactly when you use your, here, I'll do it in real time. Yeah, this is real time. I'll tell you exactly when you use your abilities. Spellbinder, Q, QW, into E ults. You use one hate spike before you ultimate, and these guys would have died. Your allies might have lived.
So Q first, then
Q out of stealth, spellbinder roughly 1 or 2 seconds before you start the fight. Q first, W as the Q is flying to slow one of your targets, then run at them in E, and then ultimate. Potential. Ooh, he should be dead. Can he be dead there? She doesn't have ult. I don't know actually. Okay, next fight. Let's see. Mid lane is your buddy. You see a lot of people mid lane, and it's a lot easier to get behind people when you're in the mid lane. You gotta pick on this guy. You're going in with your E again instead of your Q. If you had your Q there, if you had Q there first, you might have killed him before he Zhonya's. You have a lot of time to position here. What are your ward situation look like? No pinks. They don't have pinks, and you do have a regular ward. Flash ults. Ult is down. Flash is up. Blasting cone is up. You should never try to approach this from the front. You should always go at least to here. Ward. Stand over here. W at 3k, and then flash E smite.
yeah, that's a lot of this.
It's a 1-for-1. I would have rather tried to go for the Baron. I guess that's okay too. That guy's dead. Alright, so they fuck up the subsequent fight. Oh, do they? They can't fight the Victor. Okay. Next fight. Let's see what happened here. I think you fucked this up too.
Yeah, but that's why I select. Yeah.
So you see them coming. Generally speaking, you don't want to run towards a bush that you don't have vision of. It's much better to stand mid lane because you have more vision here. But let me see what you see from the enemy here. Oh well, okay. You did totally mess up because there's no reason for you to run here. I mean, you if you stayed here, you would have seen him. You would have killed him. But you know that this Vel'Koz is running straight at the bush. You see him walking in a straight path. So what you should be doing is you should be standing in the bush right as he walks up to it. You Q his face, and then you like auto attack E or something. I don't know. You just basically he's a target dummy right now. I mean, you could practice this in practice tool.
Gonna kill him probably.
Easily, man. Like, this is a target with no... Okay, he has armor, Azonia's, and he has an extra 350 HP, but you're a 3-item Evelynn. 3-item Evelynn can kill any squishy with that much health because he has no magic resistance. If he has magic resistance, if he has a Banshee's Veil, then you have to think, okay, do I need to use my ultimate for this? Whatever. This is a target dummy. You just stand right here and you murder him. Q, E, hate spike, ulti if you have to, probably don't. Did you use your E? You did. How did this work out? Hold on. Every time you use your Q first, or your Q second, it just kills a part of me. I know, like, I know that I shouldn't be getting frustrated at you because this is a video and you can't help but do the same thing over and over again. But Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, it just hurts me so bad. There's
Yeah.
a time to use your E first, but that time is when like they have charm on them and it guarantees your Q and like you can do whatever the fuck you want to them afterwards. If you're just
Yeah,
trying
but-
to do damage, you do your Q first.
Yeah, I was
Ooh, get him.
watching.
No ulti, never mind, don't get him.
I was watching one of your other vlog reviews before this, and I looked at it, and you kept saying this to another guy as well.
Yeah,
I thought,
that's
"Oh,
funny.
Sensei gonna hate this."
It's alright. Let me see this fight real quick. And then it looks like after this you guys don't really have any trouble. Alright, whatever. Let me see your next fight. I wanna get this done because I have a couple of comments and I don't wanna have them escape my head. I think we've already seen enough. The evidence is before us, so to speak.
Yeah. We can move to the closing statement.
Let's see. Ooh. Alright, well that's just... You just can't be walking through people. It's not a thing. Walking through people is pretty much suicide with Evelyn.
Yeah.
So here, at the very most, what you can do is you can go in on Victor. It's not a really good thing to do, but I guess what you should be doing here is as soon as Victor sees you, he falls back, he moves forward. You QE Victor and then you run back towards your team. You just do your regular damage. You don't expend any of your utility, and you use your movement speed to regroup and restealth. I think you didn't use Spellbinder, but I have trouble with that too, so I'm not gonna complain.
But still, fair criticism.
Alright, is that... Okay, I get Baron. You know, a big thing that I can say about that is, one, you're fighting for a water dragon. Who gives a shit? Two, you're running at the enemy head-on instead of trying to flank or waiting for them to overextend and then use your W or something. And three, you're tunneling and you're walking past people that are tanky, which is not a good idea. If Victor was like a regular tank, you would have been like really, really dead. Because regular tanks usually have CC. Victor doesn't, so it's different. Also, you really shouldn't build a Banshee's Veil this game.
Yeah.
There's just so much that I want to say that I'm not... Oh yeah, look,
Okay.
look. MR. No MR, he's the only one. So, I mean, if one... This and this alone warrants a Void Staff second item. This and this is just like screaming at you. You need a Void Staff, or else you're fucking done.
Okay. Yeah, I think this has to do with like me using my E instead of my QW and getting killed over and over. So I thought, well, I need something to stop that CC. That was really my thoughts here. But
Okay,
then
that's
I was
really funny.
pretty-
I can see
ineffective.
that, but no.
Tried to solve the problem in the wrong way here.
Yeah. That's really funny. The way that the itemization goes on Evelyn is, one, you have to be able to kill somebody. Two, you want to live afterwards. Okay, so in this situation, you didn't have one fulfilled. If you can't kill anybody, who gives a shit if you die? Seriously. Yeah. Like, right there, you went in, you did all your damage and didn't do anything. Might as well have, done more damage and killed some of them, taking them out with you. Alright, so that's the end. Yep, Baron was the end there. A couple of things that I gotta say. I think that a lot of this is your inexperience with Evelyn. I mean, it's fine for me to take a look, but I think we probably went a little bit too soon. I think a lot of things could have been fixed just with 20 more games, or you looking at some of my guides on YouTube. That being said, since we're already here, you need to learn the combos that I mentioned. I'll load into practice tool while I tell you about the other stuff, and I'll just show you what you need to be doing. But you really need to be doing those things. Oops, that's ranked. Awkward.
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory. Okay, so that's number one. You're not even like your mechanics, because it's not really mechanics. You just don't know what abilities to use in what order. 2, you need to learn to use your camouflage better. To learn to use your camouflage better, there's a couple of things. One, you need to realize that you are safe while you're invisible and stop playing scared. Meaning, I'll go over them in a second. Meaning that you want to be closer to the enemy. You want to always take flanks, because it's a lot. Most of the time, opponents will run away towards their base when you W them, so flanks are invaluable. And that kind of ties into the next thing you should be thinking of, which is you really need to be thinking more about how your enemies are going to react to your presence. So whether it be by you using W or by just being revealed through proximity, you have to kind of take into account and react accordingly to that. So that means using your Q faster. That means you know, being maybe in a different spot or moving towards a different spot, like top lane, where you, instead of moving like this, you should have been moving like this. So that's, hold on. So that's another thing. So camouflage, think about how your enemy reacts. Farming. Evelynn is a farming jungler. Pretend like you're Yi, except not useless. You want to take the valuable camps, and you want to take them very efficiently. So generally speaking, okay, so here's something that I do, right? When I read the chat, my body, like when I look towards the chat like this, my body will start clicking towards the nearest up camp and then go in a line here, 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 here. I don't even think about this stuff anymore. Farming, it's so ingrained into me that, like, while I'm doing something else, my eyes just look at the map and go towards the nearest thing and then start doing the QW. Like, I can just be like looking at chat the entire time and still be doing my farm fairly well. Like boom, boom, boom. Maybe look. Oh, okay, I fucked that. Okay, no, I fucked it up real bad. But I also don't have any items. That would have taken 3 Qs if I didn't have items. Right? Fuck everyone. Anyway, all right. Let's take a second to talk about combos. The classic one is QW. This slows people. You see my W is on cooldown. I got it off, so I'm in stealth. I throw my Q because my Q will reach that person even through stealth. You can look at the range indicator. It's bigger than stealth, whatever. So QW is your classic thing when you walk up in E. Clearly better than just walking up in E for several reasons. You arrive faster and you do way more damage this way. Now the second one is the one using Flash, which is the one that I wanted you to use over at Baron. I think you had Flash over there. I don't remember actually.
Yeah, I did have Flash.
Alright, so the Flash combo is just Q Flash E. You can see how that's probably going to be really good, because if you are at maximum range, Flash, and then look at how little you have to walk to use your E. Did you see that? My character just like budged and it was close enough. Flash, and then this is the range of E. So so it's so important for you to be able to do that, because here's, I'll just do target dummies and we'll look at DPS, okay? Q flash E with haste spikes. Oops, wait, I have my cooldowns. Let's not do that. And also, let's make sure that we have electrocute too, so it's fair. Okay. Q flash E haste spikes. Walk away. So 300 DPS. Now, here's what you were doing. And let's do this. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. This is fine. Alright, you were walking at them and then using your this thing and then walking away. So I'm doing actually 50% more. I'm doing my damage 50% faster than you are. If I do that. And I mean, here's another one actually that people do, because that time I didn't use flash or whatever. Here's another one that people do. They will, let me get my electrocute back. They will flash Q, E, and then walk away. Still does less damage than what I do, right? Or less DPS or whatever. Hold on. Let me try to do this as fast as I can.
I use every part of it.
300.
Let's sneak around.
Oh, right. Alright, so this is slower, but also you don't see part of the DPS decrease because I'm flashing first, so I'm going into combat with the target dummy later as opposed to queuing first. But anyway, it's still worse because if you Q flash, oops, I don't have flash. If you Q flash, it will, you basically save yourself like a global cooldown, so to speak, if you ever play like WoW or anything, because you like look at this bar here. When you're using your Q, there's a little cast time, and during that cast time you can't do anything else, but you can flash. So like if we do it fast enough, as you see, like while the thing is casting, we're actually using our flash. So like you're not wasting the extra time. Whatever, I'm taking too much time to talk about this. What's up?
To conclude, it is better to queue first, or
Yeah, 100%.
okay.
And the other thing is that if you queue first, you can kind of predict whether or not you hit it. Like if you by accident queue here, you're not gonna flash follow up. Most of the time, if you queue first, you can instantly know whether you hit it or not, right? And then decide whether you want to flash afterwards.
Yeah, so you have an out as well, in case you fuck up.
Yeah,
Tasted peace once.
that time it was more. But anyway, no, it's a lot better to
I don't break hearts.
do this. Is there anything else I wanted to tell you? Besides the, well, yeah, there's the farming thing. I'll try to make a video talking about like what early paths to take and stuff. But generally speaking, you want to try and full clear, and you want to, like, in that game you were afraid of being invaded and stuff, and you definitely want to minimize the amount of camps that you lose from that kind of invade. Some things to think about is like, is it safe to counter invade? In that situation, I would say no. Generally speaking, you only counter invade if you can start in the enemy side jungle, because you want to avoid meeting the enemy jungler in that place. If the game that you just played went, you start blue buff, you go red side, he starts your red buff, he goes red side, you lose the game. Like straight up, you lose the game right then and there, because you might get killed, but even if you don't get killed, you have to do the walk of shame back to your jungle while he farms up. He's already taking your side. He's starting to take his side, and now not only does he have more total camps, but he also has tempo, where he has already cleared more camps than you, and he has camps respawning at the same time as you. So something that you really, really don't like. if you know that he took your red, for example, because you knew that he didn't take your raids. If you know that he took your red and you just do, like, I would do blue, wolves, blue, scuttle, gromp, wraiths, and then krugs, you're still kind of okay, because let's say he does your red and then goes to like his blue and then like does some other camps here, maybe scuttle crab in there. Well, the advantage that you still have is that you have camps that are respawning faster than him. Respawn camps are like so valuable that as soon as you take them, you're now back in the game. That's also a similar idea for when people double scuttle you. If somebody goes like red, or it's usually here. So let's say they go like blue, gromp, scuttle, scuttle, but you do red, krugs, wraiths, and wolves in that same amount of time, well, fuck it, dude. You don't give a shit that he got 2 scuttles. Yeah, he has more jungle to fall back to, but your krugs and your wolves and your wraiths come back up so fast that by the time you clear them a second time, you're actually stronger than him, despite him getting the scuttle crabs. And the reason why is because the scuttle crabs are equal to a gromp at the first time you clear them. So if he clears a scuttle and you clear your wraiths, you guys are equal. If he clears another scuttle and you clear your wolves, you guys are equal in terms of gold, but in terms of future stuff, you're actually ahead because your camps are respawning and they're better than his camps that are left in his jungle. The biggest thing actually is the 3rd scuttle crab that spawns, because the 3rd scuttle crab is worth 2 camps. So if you are able, for example, to secure the 3rd scuttle crab because you have respawn camps and you're stronger than the enemy jungler, or maybe you have priority, you will be so far ahead of him, you will be surprised. And it's because of like your pace, how quickly you're clearing camps compared to him and whatnot. So basically what I'm trying to say is, looking back at that game that you just played, it's okay if he takes your red buff. You don't give a shit. It's not okay for you to be risking the game for the enemy red buff, and at the same time doing something that you're really not good at, which is like stealing one of their camps here. Who cares if you stole one of their camps here, when you probably could have put yourself further ahead doing what I said and clearing, like, you know, 2 other camps in the time that you took his one camp over there. And if you were another champion, if you were, let's say, Graves, yeah, you could do that. If you're Nidalee, yeah, you could do that. But the reason why is because you're not scared if you're doing that. Because you can take his red, you can take his wraiths, and if he comes there, you can fight him off and tell him to go fuck off. But if you're Evelyn, you can't do that. You're actually scared for your life and whatnot, so...
Yeah, you just have to run.
Moving forward, here's what you want to focus at. Number 1, first thing that you need to think about going into all your games is map awareness. Learn how to use function keys, or at the very least, learn how to click your map to see what people are doing without sacrificing your clear times. So that's number 1 golden thing. Oh, by the way, only try to improve one thing at a time. You won't be able to do it if you're trying to do too many things. You just won't be able to focus on anything, and then you won't be actually improving on anything. So focus on one thing at a time. Learn to watch the map, number 1. Number 2, learn to use your abilities properly. The biggest thing is learn to use that QW that I was saying to slow people. You should be using your W to slow people way more. There was like 15 opportunities in that last game that we saw. And then like the rest, whatever. Learn to play your champion, basically. After that, learn to optimize your paths and just make it so that you're gaining gold really quickly. That means that you want to look for like you want to get better at knowing when to gank. You want to get better at knowing which camps to take in what order, when to invade, all that good stuff. And then you want to worry about all the late game stuff that I was talking about, like you not knowing how to flank, camouflage,
and whatnot. Then you can think about your stuff. Start with your early game and then work your way up from there. That's how I did it, and I think that's the best way to do it. So there you go. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. I'll put this review on YouTube too if you want to look back at it. I honestly think you just need a lot more practice. You just need a lot more time spent playing because you're still really new, and it really shows. There's so many mistakes that I think you could have solved with time, but it's whatever. Do you have any more questions for me? I don't know. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, well, beforehand I had a few questions, but you answered them all and more, so I really appreciate
Oh
that.
yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, really great.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cause
Yeah,
if I try to do
I
any
noted
more
down what
right
you
now,
said.
my brain feels like mush. I just literally don't know. I'll just be like drooling.
Yeah, great. I'll have a look at these things and maybe yeah, look at the review as well.
Okay. Sick. Looks like there was a little bit of lag while we were doing this, but not too much. Hopefully that doesn't